Hi, my name is Jody Marchand, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I'm also the founder of the Liv Foundation, which is in memory of my daughter, Olivia, also known as Liv. Olivia was a senior in high school and who was ready to start her college education at the University of Vermont, and she couldn't have been happier about it. She was an intelligent, beautiful young lady that had her whole life ahead of her. And my goal in life is to keep her memory alive and to donate my time, my energy, and money to victims of domestic violence. On July 16th, we will have the Ride for Liv, Run for Liv. It is the 7-year anniversary date of this fun event, which has a 23-mile bike ride, a 6-mile bike ride, and we started a 50-mile bike ride this year. There's also a 5K run walk. And after the activities, we provide a free lunch that's provided by Bianco's Catering, which includes barbecue chicken, hamburgers, hot dogs, you name it. There's also an ice cream sundae parlor, which is ice cream provided by Kimball Farms. We give out medals to the top runners of all ages and top bike riders of all ages. And there's a fun raffle with some really great prizes donated by some generous individuals. This event was started because when the year anniversary date arrived or was coming up, I said to a friend, I didn't want to have a service. I wanted a happy occasion in memory of my daughter, Olivia. And the idea came up to start the Ride for Liv, Run for Liv. I needed to have this event because I needed her memory to be alive because of what happened. On February 1st, 2010, I got home from work. I got home a little late that night, went upstairs, changed into my pajamas, poured a glass of wine, and was deciding what to have for dinner. My husband was in the family room watching TV, and he was drinking wine, as always, and he was angry at me about something that happened that weekend. I don't remember what it was. He got up off the couch in the middle of our argument and started to choke me. And I was afraid, and I dialed 911. And then I became afraid because I knew he was a hunter, and we had guns in the house, and I knew if I dialed 911, he would become angrier because he knew that I would get a restraining order and he would lose his right to have guns. And I knew that would make him so angry. So I hung up. And in the middle of that, he said, I know what I'm going to do. And in walked my daughter, Olivia, unexpectedly. She was so happy that she was going to be done with school, moving on to the University of Vermont. She couldn't have been in a better mood. She was going to make cupcakes for me that night. And I looked at her and said, we've got to get out of here. So I went upstairs to get out of my pajamas, and she came up with me, and my husband came up with a gun. He shot Olivia. She was leaning against my bureau, and he shot her. I turned to go to be with her, to save her, and a bullet entered my left temple, shattering my jaw and now the bullet sits in my right shoulder. He then shot himself, by the way. Now, since that day, I find it extremely important to tell my story to whoever will listen. I will speak to the seniors in high school. I talk to the Lowell Police Department for their graduating police officers. I'll speak to anyone about the event and what happened, because I need people to know I was not physically abused. Domestic violence seems to go hand in hand with physical abuse, and what people need to know is that emotional abuse can eventually lead to what happened to me. Emotional abuse is all about the ultimate control, and there's many signs of that control that they want. Some examples I give start out right at the beginning when we met. I was 19, he was 28, and it was the first time I had a date with someone that was older, that had a Thunderbird, that picked me up to go to dinner, where we went to Newburyport to this great restaurant. And let me tell you, I couldn't have been happier. We went out with friends one night after that, and we were like the lovey-dovey couple, and he asked if I was dating anyone else. And I said, yes, I was. And he said, well, if you're going to date other people, I think we should call it quits right now. Right there was the first sign of someone wanting control. He didn't want to discuss it. He didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to say, well, I really like you. Could we maybe, think about going steady? It was his way or the highway. I have other examples that I talk about. They make jokes. We would go out with friends. He was the fun guy at the party. But what I learned later is that the jokes were at my expense. They make their victim seem like, well, they make you feel this big. And friends would think he was so funny, but I would become so angry because the jokes were about me. Very often, the abusive partner, they want control of money. They want to know where you are, who you're with, what you're doing, what you're wearing. It's a tough situation to get out of, because you're afraid, number one, or you think it will get better. You think maybe it's something I did. I need people to know the signs of emotional abuse, because the ultimate is what happened to me, a tragic event that means you could lose everything. I lost everything. My daughter Olivia was the light of my life. She was everything. And I know she was my one and only child that was taken away. I talk about this so others will know. It could be happening to you. It could be happening to someone you know, a family member, a friend, and sometimes it's happening and you don't realize. You think you can make it better. So I talk about this because I want others to know, and I also want to keep her memory alive by having this event and giving money to Alternative House, a shelter, or giving money to police departments that now they're very much involved in domestic violence and trying to help victims. So I hope that I will see you on July 16th. It's fun for all ages. We have an obstacle course for kids. We have face painting. We have arts and crafts. And, it's a great family day. So I look forward to seeing you on July 16th so we may keep my daughter Olivia, keep her memory alive. Thank you.